All right, Nick, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. I think this offseason was filled with excitement. There's a lot of great young players on the Lions, especially some of these draft picks coming in here. And we're all excited about those guys as well. But I think one guy from last year is ready to make that second year leap. And that is none other than Brian Branch out of the University of Alabama, came to Detroit. And really, he took his lumps last year. He did a lot of good stuff as well. But coaches are saying this is the guy ready to take the next step and become that versatile player. Let's get into the article and can read more about, or we can talk more about this on the other side. This is from AL.com. It says Brian Branch started at the star position during his final season at Alabama and was touted as the top safety in the 2023 NFL draft. But after being drafted by the Detroit Lions in the second round, Branch got virtually all his playing time as a rookie at slot corner. Now that he's going into year two, I think we'll be more aggressive with him, O'Neal said during Detroit's mandatory minicamp, O'Neal being one of the Lions' assistant defensive coaches. Detroit's defensive assistant Jim O'Neal said the Lions preferred to fix him at one spot in his first season, but he expected Branch to branch out, no pun intended, in the secondary in 2024. He's the type of player you want to see out there on all three downs, so we're going to push him to that. But at the end of the day, he still has to come out in training camp. He's got to take that job. So it sounds like Branch is going to get some more versatile playing situations, some more interesting play time for him. I think this is really interesting for the Lions. Nick, I'm curious what you think about this one, but Detroit fans, in the comments section below, let us know who's your favorite DB in Detroit Lions history. I think there's a lot of good answers. Maybe Brian Branch one day can live up to be one of those answers as well. But let us know who is your favorite Detroit DB in team history in the comment section below. While you're down there, check out the description below the video and check out our list of must-read NFL books. Gridiron Genius, I think, is a great book breaking down some of the ins and outs of football and just showing you how to be a gridiron genius. So go check that one out in particular. But Nick, what are your thoughts on the development of Brian Branch?
So I think it's a great sign because it's important to understand, and we talk about it all the time. Even though the Lions made some great moves in the secondary this offseason, I like the Terrion Arnold draft pick. I think a lot of people did. They were so bad in the secondary last year. They finished 30th in coverage grade according to PFF, 28th in tackling grade. It's actually even worse than that. They were 30th in coverage grade while finishing in the top half of the NFL in interceptions. And interceptions are really a massive boost to your coverage grade. So if you remove the interception factor, there probably isn't anyone really worse than the Lions covering people. And though Bryant made some plays, like you alluded to, he took some lumps. But I think a big part of that, like the Lions coaches here are pointing out, is that he was still trying to learn the game, learn the scheme. He was fixed to one position. And the fact they're willing to put him in opportunities to branch out, no pun intended, right? To try different things, to be the star player in the defense. For people who aren't familiar, that star position, you see a lot in college football. That's code for defensive playmaker, the positionless player that can do so many different things. You can be a box safety, slot corner. You can be a linebacker in a nickel dime package. You can be a center field safety, a two deep safety. You can be a million different things over the course of a game, a week, a season. That's what a star position is at the college level. And that's exactly what the Lions are trying to do here with Brian Branch. And I think that's a great sign that they believe he can mentally and physically handle it. Because it's one thing to do it in college, right? Because if you're just, faster, more athletic, more talented than everybody, right? Like he obviously was at Alabama, you can get away with, maybe making a mental mistake here and there because your recovery speed is so great. NFL is a completely different ballgame, of course. So the fact that the Lions coaches believe that Branch can and probably will take advantage of this opportunity to take that next leap, to be involved in more packages, more positions, similar to the star position he was in college. I think it's a great sign for him because, look, the Lions coaching staff, we know it. We talk about it all the time. They're not dummies. They're some of the smartest, maybe the smartest in football, especially when it comes to developing players. They would not be putting Branch in this position. They would not be spending their valuable time if they didn't think Branch could live up to this expectation. To me, that's a sign that Brian Branch, come regular season time, he's not going to be just a slot corner. He's not going to be fixed in one spot. He's going to be a positionless defensive weapon for the Detroit Lions, and that's exactly what they need.
Yeah, Nick, and I think this is really interesting because I think Branch can grow and I think he can learn as well. But I think there's another aspect here. A guy, maybe he's a little bit familiar playing with Terrion Arnold, also from Alabama as well. So there's building some on field chemistry there. I know it's kind of a stretch, but I think that's something that is very interesting Detroit is doing as well. So I think when Branch is more comfortable in this defense, when he's got a surrounding cast, because as you said, and the proof is in the stats. I mean, you look at it, like you said, the secondary last year was not doing Brian Branch any favors. There was interceptions, there was turnovers, but the actual play on the field was pretty abysmal. Almost nobody worse than the Detroit Lions in coverage. Now that I think they've started to shore up some of the issues, they got a high draft pick in Terrion Arnold, also from Alabama, coming in to play corner. I think we'll see this, defensive backfield shape up a little bit. Pass rush up front is going to be significantly better with DJ Reader involved as well. So I just think this defense is really coming together. We're going to see Branch settle in. And like you said, this is when his star time is going to come out. This is going to be when he is the focal point of this defensive backfield and really can start to make some plays. So I'm excited to see that happen. And I think the Detroit Lions defense is really moving in the right direction.